Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this tutorial, we will take a deep dive into two essential Python modules for file management, os and sh-util. We will explore their powerful features and also see them in action through practical examples in order to do app. So to begin with, right, we will start with the os module. Okay. So now that I have imported this os module, let me see what are all the functions and the hidden variables inside this os module. Okay, so mostly, right, the functions that is available in the OS module allows you to interact with the operating system. We can actually, okay, create directories and also check if the file exists, and also manipulate, okay, we can manipulate some file paths. So yeah, so all these functions are actually, right, mentioned here. Let's, okay, see some of the key functions that we will use in the OS module. Okay, so for example, os module has a function called path.exists. This is used to check whether a path is existing or not. For example, if I put, okay, let's say like files slash, okay, it says true. So if the file exists, it will return true, and false if it doesn't. If I, let's say, okay, put, okay, something like this, it is returning false. Okay, now let me introduce to another function in the OS module that is called makedirs. This is used to actually, right, make a directory at the specified path. Also, right, if you mention, let's say, okay, some intermediate directories also, it will actually create it. For example, right, I'm creating one more folder called export2. Inside that I'm saying, okay, directory 1 and directory 2. Okay, something like this. And when I press enter and when I reload this from the disk, you will find under export2 you have dir1, dir2. Okay, so it actually creates a backup like directory if it doesn't already exist. Let me introduce to the next function, os.path.join. Okay, here, right, we can actually join two or more paths into a single component. For example, if I want to actually, right, create a path, let's say it is like this, files, and then I have, okay, inside that, okay, to do.txt. Okay, and let me actually store this in a variable called path. Okay, now when I print this path, you'll see that automatically, right, it has put a slash character and then it has created a valid file path. So using this, right, we can actually check in our function if the path is existing or not. It exists, true. So likewise, right, we can create paths using this os.path.join. The next function that we will focus is the sh-util module, which is actually essentially the shell utils module. It focuses on high-level file operation like copying, moving, and deleting files and directories. Some of the key function, okay, let's see that. Import sh-util. Okay, let me remove this. And then, okay, the next thing I will put, okay, dir sh-util. So these are some of the, okay, functions that is available inside the, yeah, we have copy file, we have copy tree, disk usage, copy. All these are some of the functions that is available inside this sh-util module. So using this sh-util module, right, we can actually copy file from a source to a destination. For that, right, we have to use sh-util.copy. Inside this copy, you need to give first the source and then the destination. For example, I want to actually create a copy for this to-do.txt. Okay, so first I have mentioned the source. Next I will mention where I need to actually copy it. For example, if I need to actually copy it, let's say like in the same folder, files slash to-do.txt. I can give something like this. Now when I actually go and check inside the files and reload from the disk, you'll see like the file is actually copied, to-do1 and to-do.txt. Okay, so this is one way. Also, right, you can move files from one directory to another directory. For that, right, we have to use shutil dot move. So let me actually copy this, okay, file as the source. So I'm going to copy or move this file from this place to a new place, which is, let's say, like export 2 slash dir1 slash dir2. Okay, and also you can actually mention how you want to actually move it to do dot txt. When I do this, let's see, I will again refresh or reload from the disk. You can see like it is moved here. Let me refresh again from the disk. You see like it is now disappeared from here. So this is how, right, we will move files from one directory to another directory using the shutil command. Next function that I want to introduce is shutil.rm_tree. This is used to actually, right, remove or delete a directory and all its contents. For example, if I want to actually remove all the contents inside the export 2, then I can actually give this command. So now when I actually refresh this to do app as a whole, you will see that export 2 is deleted. Okay, so now that we have seen this, we can also use shutil command to, like get the disk usage. Let's say like I'm giving, okay, like this. You can see that, okay, this is the total size of the disk, how much is used and how much is free. So like that, right, we can use the shutil module and the os module in our app. So now that we have seen like some basic overview and key functions of the os and shutil, okay, module, let's, okay, develop some functions in our to-do app and call it out. So first thing that I want to do is, okay, I think I'm inside this function. Let me get outside this function, def, and then I will say like backup task files. I will say like task files, backup task files. And in this, right, I will actually mention the task file also as a argument. This will be the input argument for this function. So here I can actually put files slash to do dot txt. Okay, and after that, okay, uh, I can actually give a quick, okay, introduction of what this does. It's like a helper or documentation. Copies the current task file to backup location. After this, for this, right, I can use shutil dot copy, and inside this, right, I will give task file comma backup file. So I need to also define the backup file, right? Okay, so let me actually define the backup file. Backup file should be equal to, inside the files, I will create one folder called backup slash to do dot, let me say like to do backup. Let me do like this, like instead of giving the file, right, I'll give like this backup path. So whenever we run this backup, okay, file task, it will actually append the timestamp to it also. Let's see, like we have actually error that is coming on top of this. This is because we didn't import the shutil module. So let's do that. Import shutil. Also, we can actually import os. So we can also define, okay, multiple imports in single line by like separating with comma. Okay, so let me remove this. Now let's create backup file like this. Backup file equal to os.path.join, and then we will create a path function which is like this. So here, right, first we will put the backup path, which is the folder which contains the folder. Okay, path 1, and next let's give the next path. Next path should be actually to do backup, and in this, right, we will also append the timestamp. So for the timestamp we need to give timestamp equal to datetime dot now. Okay, inside this we will do string format time, which is going to be let me put year hyphen month hyphen date. Okay, and also I'll put hours hyphen minute. So this is the timestamp. So here, right, I will actually introduce that timestamp also by calling the formatted string using this f, and then I will put inside this the timestamp. So now we have backup file path created. So now we will actually copy this task file to the backup file like this. Add one more functionality here. It's called backup. Okay, inside this we need to have one more block explicitly to handle this backup part. So let me actually give it just below this elif user input dot starts with backup, then we can directly call the function so that the user will be just informed that the backup is created. Okay, so this function is not returning anything, so let me actually print the place where the backup is created so that the user will be informed the location where the backup is done. So I will say like here backup created at, and then I will call that backup file path. So now that this is done, now I will actually call this functions dot backup task files. Here I can actually pass the path that is needed. However, right, we have given the default path. In case we need to override this path, we can actually give the arguments there. So yeah, for now, right, I will actually use this same variable there. Let me go here and give task file is equal to files slash to-do.txt, and backup path is equal to so where we are be creating the backup in the files itself, a backup folder. So similarly I will give the same files slash backup. Okay, so now we need to handle one more thing here. Now that the backup folder is not created, so we need to actually check using os.path.exists. If this backup path is existing or not. If true means, then we can actually, let me actually indent this inside this. If it is existing, then you do this. If it doesn't exist, okay, then in that case, what we need to do is we need to actually make the directory. So you start make dirs, and then I'll give the backup path. After that, right, I can actually run this two lines, which actually joins and creates the backup path. Okay, now we have the backup path created and the backup file created. Okay, now let me go to the main.py. So now I need to call this function by giving the task file and the backup path. So that's it. Let's run this function. So what I want to do now I want to actually do backup. Okay, so it says backup created at files backup to do backup, and then it has appended the timestamp to it. Okay, so you see right here we have given the minutes value. It should be small m because capital M stands for minutes. So let me again run it, stop it again. Okay, let me run it. Now what I want to do, I want to create a backup. Now you see to do backup, and then we need to do one more thing. We can also include .txt so that it is a standard file name. So for that we need to go to functions, and then we need to introduce to this timestamp. Next to timestamp we can put txt in both the places, right? I need to define. Let me again run it. Okay, backup. You see now, right, txt is created. Let me refresh this. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.